1 year ago, Biteforce was having the time of his life. He took some time away to enjoy his newest possession, the BattleBots Reborn Cup title. But 2 fights into the new season, and reality is catching up to him. After 2 shock defeats, his back is against the wall. Now, more than ever, the champion must show the world what made him number 1 in the first place. As tonight, BattleBots Reborn Cup continues!
Hello everyone and welcome to the League of Pigs. We've got some great pig racing for you today. Joining me today is of course Samantha.
I think you're not doing the right one, Nick.
I think these shirts alter my mind.
That could be a possibility.
Maybe. Subscribe to League of Pigs though. It's pretty cool. But do that after today's episode, yes, because we have a very important episode today in BattleBots Reborn Cup.
Yeah, tonight we begin the second half of the Fight Night rounds, huzzah! And for most bots, they still have everything to play for.
Yeah, 2 fights for every bot remaining, and regardless of whether or not you're at 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2, there is work to do. It's going to be a very exciting match. Fight hard. Look, I've been dealing with this whole thing. You can't see the leg, but I've been dealing with that for the last few weeks, so ignore half the shit I say.
Anyway, tonight's fights include the battle for comfort as 1-1 Cobalt squares off with the 1-1 Witch Doctor.
A big battle towards the top as Mo and BLOODSPORT look to solidify their spot towards the top of the table.
We also welcome back Biteforce, whose title defense is spiraling out of control as he takes on MINOTAUR, who is also in need of a kickstart to his season.
And another important battle lies in the main event as 2 1-1 bots look to get back to where they think they deserve to be. It's Bronco versus Nightmare. For more on that big main event, it's time to turn it over to our pit reporter, Captain Mantine.
Thank you, Nick, and both of these bots are coming off of very lackluster wins, but also not bad losses. Nightmare's win against Voltronic was rather convincing, but it's not really the most impressive win, and losing to Huge isn't too bad as we've seen, as it's 2-0. And Bronco lost to Wipeout, no shame in that. It's been a consistently well-performed bot. A win over Killer B, though, not much weaponry, not really much of an impression made there. So I think this next fight is really going to determine if they get into the playoffs, or where they're placed in the playoffs, rather. Nightmare's got the tree mech now. It can run both ways, but it also takes a lot to get spun up. If Bronco can stay on him, it'll be his fight, but if not, Nightmare's going to tear him apart.
Thank you, Cap. We've got an important card of fights to get through, so let's get started. First up, we have Gigabyte versus Huge. It's been smooth sailing for these two so far. Who has impressed you more?
It's really tough to say because they've both been so good, but I guess we have to go with Gigabyte because Huge was decent last year, whereas Gigabyte was still trying to find his feet a little bit, so to be at 2-0, he is absolutely loving life right now.
And with both bots undefeated so far, this fight will be a win and you're in scenario.
Pretty much, and both bots might even be in because they are already 2-0 with impressive wins, with an impressive resume, but you know, 3-0 pretty much is the final nail in that coffin, so both bots will be desperate to chase it and make round 4 a little bit easier.
Well, let's see who gets to win this fight.
Down the box.
Down the box.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square. And here I was, thinking all America ever cared about was its football and basketball. I had no idea they had an ultimate frisbee team, and this bot is the captain of it. Pinging off the arena walls and back into your loving arms, it's Gigabyte! In the blue square. You may be wondering why this robot is so angry. Well, he's just seen the latest photos for the next season of BattleBots and realised he accidentally took one of his pictures from Tinder.
And yes, ladies, that's no Snapchat filter on that rear end. It's just the absolute size of the Chad known as Huge!
So a big matchup here between the undefeated Gigabyte and undefeated Huge. Cap, who would you say is the underdog going into this match, and who is the favorite? Who's got more pressure on them to win this fight?
I feel like probably Gigabyte, just looking at the matchup. Gigabyte has to drive a better fight than Huge does. It has to get around to the sides, whereas Huge can just kind of drive toward it and try to hit the top of the shell. I feel like they're both in a comfortable position record-wise, but looking at the fight itself, I'd say Gigabyte is in the more pressuring position here.
Let the bot battle begin. Two bots eager to get to 3-0 and confirm their spot in the tournament. Oh, jeez! Is he already dead?
I think so.
I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but it looked like he got caught in the orbit of Gigabyte, and SurrenderBot hasn't moved since.
Yeah, it really was just a one-hit wonder there, and now Huge lost a piece, I think? Oh, Gigabyte!
He's going to make sure he's dead, and now he is. So now the main bots can get back to business after whatever that was. Of course, they were the main attraction in this fight anyway. SurrenderBot was only around to be a distraction. Oh, big shot from Gigabyte on Huge's wheel. He's been suffering early this fight.
Still holding up, though, as I would expect from Huge.
Struggling more than usual, it seems like, with traction on the floor as a piece gets popped into the air. I think that one was already off. Gigabyte trying to line up his shots carefully. He doesn't want to go in between the wheels of Huge and land right near the weapon. Like that. Huge gets a good shot. A real chess match right now between these two.
Huge has always really had those maneuverability issues, so I think Gigabyte's doing a good job at just trying to hold out and wait until he gets those perfect shots.
That wasn't the most perfect shot. I think Huge got a decent attack on there. Gigabyte is really trying to take his time and line up the shots to go after the wheels. Huge is cornering him now. This could be a spot of bother, but Gigabyte maneuvers out of it nicely. And then takes a big shot. When another shot pops up Huge, he's the one that's moving more out of these hits than Gigabyte is, and after Gigabyte has been seen, you know, bouncing around off the walls, kind of like that.
Just some steady hits from Gigabyte, Huge getting a hit in every now and again. I don't know, at this point in time, I think we need to see some actual physical damage going on.
Wait, that might have been physical damage. It's a tooth, and I think it's off Gigabyte because he looks a little off balance. Could that be damage that turns the fight around for Huge?
We shall see. It really just depends to see if Gigabyte can get any more pieces off as he steadily continues to do so.
I see a broken leg off of Huge. Gigabyte looks a little more out of control. Did he lose another tooth? Yeah, there's two on the ground. And another big shot in the final 10 seconds. Who would have thought these two would have gone this distance? But that's exactly where we're headed, to the judges. We were expecting a lot of big hits, but we also got some peculiar hits. I don't know what happened here to SurrenderBot, but it set the tone for what ended up being a great fight.
I just love how on that little quick flashback we see, it's like SurrenderBot just grasped on to Gigabyte.
And then Gigabyte was trying to grasp onto the wheels of Huge. More often than not, he seemed to do a good job, but there were a couple reckless maneuvers in there, like this one.
Yeah, overall, driving on Gigabyte, tried to do his best, couldn't quite stay out from between the wheels of Huge, and I don't know if he did enough damage to pull through.
How about Huge? He didn't really look like he was coming off better in some of these hits. He's getting popped up and flying around a bit. but he did get damage late on that could help swing this fight in his favor.
Yeah, the damage that he did could swing the fight indeed, but he also didn't really do much outside of those few hits.
It'll have to be a fine judgment of the tactics in this fight because everything else is pretty close.
The results from the judges are in. We have a split decision. Judge Cap scored the battle for Gigabyte. Judge Nick scored the battle for Huge. Judge Matt scored the battle for your winner, Huge.
Well, Nick, I think we witnessed a murder.
Yeah, I think we did. We should probably go file a police report. And you know, it happened so quick too, there was nothing any of us could have done to have stopped it.
No, he was even surrendering.
Yeah, there was no need for Gigabyte to use deadly force there. Anyway, very good fight. Gigabyte shouldn't be too alarmed at the fact he's lost that fight because now his one loss is to a 3-0 Huge via split decision. He performed fairly well. He could probably still lose his fourth fight and get in with a mid to low seeding.
Yeah, it'll be really, really nice to see kind of where everything plays out from here.
And for Huge.
Oh yeah, for Huge.
He's going after number 1 seed.
It's gonna be really fun. Anyways, going to the second fight, we have Little Sister versus Spitfire. Perhaps two lesser 2-0 bots, but an equally important matchup for each of them.
Yeah, they are both 2-0, they are both flippers, and they're both in an odd area in the standings where they're going to be competing for a seed against each other, essentially. So it's going to be very important that they get this win as opposed to anything else, and at least look good if you happen to lose.
Well, whose current strength of schedule would leave them more secure if they lost?
Maybe Little Sister, but they are almost interchangeable. It's almost a wash.
All right, well, let's see if we can wash our way down to the bottom.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square. She may not be older, but there's something she can't shoulder. The drip 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 won't get her down, cause if she can't handle this pressure, she won't be the next Disney princess. It's Little Sister! In the blue square. Sweet dollar tea from McDonald's. He drinks that. Super hot fire. He spits that. 2.5 men. He washed that. It's Spitfire!
Let the bot battle begin. It's going to be interesting to see how two flippers go against each other. All eyes will be on both machines because they've had a decent start to the season. Little Sister getting the first good attack. Spitfire trying to escape. He finally gets some breathing space.
I'm excited to see where this fight goes. I'm not the hardiest fan for flipping fights. Nice little half flip from Little Sister again.
Yeah, half flips might end up being very important in this fight in terms of splitting hairs with who ends up winning it. Little Sister with a couple more flips as she's starting to gain a lead here.
It is very early on in this match still. That was another nice play from Little Sister. But Spitfire does have the rest of the match to try and make some statements, although so far it's not going very well.
He is falling behind early. Little Sister dominant so far in the opening minute or so.
Spitfire trying to find a way back into it. Little sister flipping herself over and then using Spitfire to self-right more quickly.
Yeah, Spitfire really tried to go in on that kind of action, hoping to get something out of it, but Little Sister is clearly kind of controlling this match.
She's underneath again, driving him into the wall. Being patient with a flip on that occasion, and now trying to bump him on his backside.
Is this gonna be it?
Can Spitfire rock out of it? No, Little Sister knocks him out of it for him.
Aw, too kind.
Halfway through this fight, Little Sister feeling very confident. Confident enough to knock Spitfire back down and continue this thing to impress the judges a little bit more. And of course, the selection committee. And now Spitfire gets an opening and takes advantage.
Will that be the only advantage he'll be able to take, though?
Very possible. Very possible. Little Sister trying to get underneath again. Spitfire knows at this point he is down on the scorecard, so he's got to start being a little bit more aggressive, and he gets flipped again, but Little Sister flips herself again.
At this point in time, I think Little Sister has flipped herself more than Spitfire has flipped her.
That might be a very accurate statement, actually. As Little Sister is still trying to fully get onto her wheels, and now has figured it out. Final 30 seconds or so. Little Sister trying to take a wide approach and keep Spitfire at bay. With Spitfire working the angles, but his flipper gets stuck partially. It's a positive attack nevertheless, and he hasn't had many of those.
He's doing his best, Nick. He's doing his best.
Well, he's on top in the final stages here. If he can keep it up and get a couple more flips, he can only hope for the best. It looks like we are headed for another judge's decision. Little Sister's self-righting again. And that's going to be the end of this one. These two will need the judges to decide their fate. Well, flipper v flipper battles are always very important. It's essentially a count of who gets more flips, and I don't think there was any question who won this one.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see how there could be any other decision. If, for some reason, judges chose Spitfire as the winner, I don't know, man. That would be a cup set for me for sure.
What will this do to Spitfire's chances of making it into the next round? At this point, he now has an important loss on his resume. It's against somebody very similar to him that was in a similar situation, so we know Little Sister's ahead of him at least, but the method of the defeat, you think he lost some ground here?
I don't know. I think he would have lost a little bit more ground if Little Sister didn't give him that chance at the end to kind of showcase himself a little bit more. So I think if Little Sister did just let it be a knockout, it would have been a different story.
Maybe she gave Spitfire a literal and figurative fighting chance. Let's get the official word from the judges.
The results from the judges are in. Your winner, by unanimous decision, is... Little Sister!
GG, Little Sister.
GG. And another fight, too, where she could have, well, or was Spitfire falling? I can't remember. Either way, Little Sister probably could have ended the fight earlier than she did. Decided to go all the way and keep performing. And we know you like seeing, rude actions.
And not rude, just smart.
Gamesmanship.
Strategic.
Yeah, sure, we'll see about that.
Anyways, going into the third for the night, we have Mo versus Bloodsport. We're weaning out undefeated bots with yet another matchup.
Yep, another important matchup of bots that are kind of in similar standing. This time we've got two horizontal spinners that are up a little higher maybe than Little Sister and Spitfire, but are still right next to each other. So again, gotta go out and get the win against somebody you might end up competing for a seed for if you're not careful.
Well, we're gonna walk on down to the box to see how this fight goes. Sorry, Nick, you can't join us.
Yeah. Oh, can I just get like a little nice box seat?
No, we're not handicap accessible here.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square, Meet one of the Three Stooges, except this robot's comedy act, he'll actually just shoot fights rather than scripted and planned out. And from past experiences, we all know he's an attention seeker and hunter for clout. Prepare yourself, Bloodsport. Here's your next foe. It's Mo! In the blue square. This robot's track record is about as accurate as Nick's BattleBots predictions. One moment, he can do it all with no fault. Then the next, he's being shot out of a catapult. Sorry Mo, he's not interested in joining your cult. He'll just swim in your fluids, cause he's Bloodsport!
Let the bot battle begin. From Flipper v Flipper to horizontal versus horizontal, we should have a very intriguing match on our hands here.
Both of them are kind of going at each other at this point. Mo's kind of exposing his wheels a little too much for my liking.
You gotta be careful. He's got the exposed parts. Bloodsport has a little bit better coverage with his weapon.
Oh, smoke.
Smoke from Bloodsport. Heavy smoke from Bloodsport, in fact.
Maybe Mo's trying to strategically bring him in by enticing him to the
Oh,
spear end,
one
but
wheel,
his
two wheels!
No!
One from Bloodsport, one from the kill saws.
Oh, now smoke coming from Mo.
Mo is in complete control of this fight, and all of a sudden he's up against the ropes.
More pieces. Oh, is Bloodsport one hit away?
This fight is gonna end quickly because both bots are tearing each other apart.
Oh, I think that's it.
That's the knockout. Mo survives after a midway barrage. Well, short fights aren't always bad. This one certainly was a great fight despite its length.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes short fights are better in my mind than longer. But as you can see, Mo's strategy went into place. He did really good hits, even though he lost those wheels. One to the saw even. How unfortunate. He did a really great job.
He must have been worried when the first wheel came off, but then for the second to happen right after was a big blow. But he held his nerve and finished what he started, and he moves to 3-0.
Congrats, Mo. Well, hot damn, Mo. God.
Yeah, he got mad. Don't make him mad.
Don't make Mo mad.
You see what he does to Curly and, what's the other Three Stooges? Larry, right? And Shem.
See, I went more of the Simpsons route. I was gonna say cue Mo throwing out.
Like in that West Ham video that none of you watched.
Back on topic, okay, we have the fourth fight for the night. We have Yeti versus Black Dragon. After a perfect start, Black Dragon gets his Prove It match.
And a very important Prove It match for him. At 2-0, he is high-flying, but of course the resume hasn't been the best, so we'll win here against the former champion Yeti, and that would probably solidify his place in the tournament.
Well, former champion or not, this is also a Prove It match for Yeti. With his 0-2 status, you know, he's got to win this to try and keep his season alive.
Absolutely. It's been a downward spiral from the word go, and Yeti knows his back is against the wall. Yeti knows that with a win, not only would he boost his own chances of making the tournament, but he can take out somebody that, it's kind of the theme of the night, somebody he might end up competing for a spot with. So, big implications on this fight.
Well, let's go down to the box to see who can, in fact, prove it.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Prove it!
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square.
He's cooler than ice stored in the cooler of the company that shares his name. They suck. Kinda like him this year, isn't it?
It's Yeti! In the blue square.
He's a descendant of Durin with poison in his veins. Don't doubt his impact. He's holding the reins. Giddy up, partner. You're in his domain.
It's Black Dragon!
Let the bot battle begin. One desperately needs to get back on track. The other needs to stay
Already?
on top. And it's Yeti with a major shot in the first few seconds. Black Dragon down to one wheel already.
That's insane.
I think you can tell who's desperate for the victory. Yeti knows he's got a lot of ground to make up so far after his 0-2 start. And he's started very well in this third fight here.
Well, the desperation coming from Yeti is apparent, but now Black Dragon's desperate to survive.
And now we'll see how well he can hold on with only one side of maneuverability. Just the left wheel remains. But sometimes bots are more dangerous like this. They're actually able to turn more quickly, protect the wheel, keep the weapon in front of their opponent. And Black Dragon really has to do that now.
I want to say, too, the last couple of hits with Yeti and Black Dragon colliding, Black Dragon's been hitting Yeti's drums. So really all he has to do is get one well-timed hit to knock off his weapon.
And Black Dragon has the wider front profile, so if he can just keep that in front of Yeti, he's got the wedges as well. It'll then just be a weapon v weapon test. You never know if he wins those. Yeti doesn't have the strongest weapon. But Yeti has the 4 wheels.
And there it goes.
Black Dragon has 0 wheels. What a performance from the Season 3 champion. He needed to come out and make a big statement and get a win. He's done just that. And now all that's left is the count on Black Dragon.
Yeah, Yeti, amazing driving in this match. Accomplished what he was going out from the start. Overall, just a very good fight.
And this one ends with Yeti getting the victory. Well, we knew this was an important fight for both machines, and you could tell just how much it meant to Yeti. Immediately box rushing, getting a wheel, catching Black Dragon off guard.
Honestly, did such a great job. Went in, like I said, with that goal in mind and just ripped it out of the park.
Now, Cap, Black Dragon will be upset at the way he lost, of course, but at the end of the day, he's still 2-1. The resume isn't too bad, so he shouldn't be too down on his luck, right? He's still got a good chance at the tournament.
He's definitely still got a good chance at the tournament. This was just a freak driving error. You know, you don't see that often from Black Dragon, and I think he's going to bounce back pretty well from this. I wouldn't be too worried from a loss to a former champion.
Holy shit, Yeti.
You could see the desperation in that fight from him.
He did indeed prove it.
He did. Fair play to him. And still work to be done for him. Definitely work to be done for Black Dragon. But a very good fight that helps keep things interesting as we slowly get closer to that final round of Fight Night matches.
So just a real quick interjection before I go on to the 5th fight for the night, right? You have beautiful eyelashes.
What?
They're just long and they're nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is
All
that
right,
relevant?
5th fight for the night. We have Bite Force versus Minotaur. So what on earth is going on with the champ?
He's too small. He looks like a preteen football player playing with high schoolers. He is just getting out-muscled in every fight. The weapon has no oomph, and he's got no plan B to help him out of bad situations. Now, granted, he's had a couple tough fights against Tombstone and Mo, but he needs to show more.
Well, he might be a scrawny football player, but as for Minotaur, we know that his old build was destined for replacement, but it's apparently worse than we thought.
Yeah, it's not going well for him either. He's got them fat sides that caught him last year when he fought Biohazard in the tournament. It caught him recently against Death Roll, so that's one of the many changes they've got to make. And they would have hoped to at least get into the tournament. Maybe you go out first or second round, you can be like, all right, that's a good way to retire, but hasn't panned out that way. So they're in desperation mode as well.
Well, let's see which of the two, the scrawny football player or the old, beaten, fat, kind of...
He's a retired lineman.
There we go. So let's go see who's going to win down in the box.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square.
He really hasn't been the same since the Bite of 87. Or was it the Bite of 83? I don't know, it's just felt like forever since he was good.
It's Bite
Bite Force!
In the blue square,
Housing him in the labyrinth won't last. This rebel wants more and wants it fast. Calamity's child won't keep it mild. It's MINOTAUR!
Let the bot battle begin. So can the 0-2 Bite Force get a very important win just like the 0-2 Yeti did? MINOTAUR looking to stop that. He's also 0-2. And he's getting underneath Bite Force.
It's interesting because MINOTAUR was kind of flopping around for a bit, but now he's actively, aggressive. He's getting underneath and he's hitting where he needs to.
Oh, Wedgelet going off of Bite Force. That was supposed to be one of his advantages compared to MINOTAUR, and it's already gone.
I don't know, from what it's looking like, this is not going well. Is MINOTAUR kind? Yes, he is. Brought down Bite Force to try and assist him, but ultimately he's back on his back.
Yeah, the first couple seconds were going Bite Force's way, but MINOTAUR is all over him, not giving him a second to breathe. Both bots need this win really badly, or else they could be eliminated as of this fight.
I don't know, I don't think this is going well for Bite Force. Best I can think from him is that maybe...
There's another Wedgelet.
Maybe MINOTAUR gets his weapon lost? I don't know.
MINOTAUR in complete control at the moment. He barely looks like he's got a scratch on him. The defending champ is being obliterated yet again. Can he find a way to turn this around? I think he just lost part of the weapon. He did. And now smoke. MINOTAUR just continues the charge, and Bite Force cannot answer in any way whatsoever.
Except for running away.
And he can barely do that now that he's smoking so heavily.
Oh, one more hit.
And MINOTAUR goes for the finish, and he gets it! MINOTAUR wins! The champ is 0-3. Incredible scenes here. Well, for a split second, we had hope for Bite Force with this first attack.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking that was gonna be how the whole fight goes, but that's how good this is to show you. Like, sometimes matches start off in one way and you don't honestly know where it's gonna end.
Do you think MINOTAUR might have been aided in the mental side of this fight as well? Yes, both bots are 0-2, but the fact that he knew the champ was rocking and he knew the pressure was off him a little bit, he seemed to he fought carefree.
Yeah, I honestly think once he got his bearings, he just went all out, and as you can see, that got him the win.
A big win, in fact, because he's now 1-2, Bite Force dropping to 0-3. He is running out of time to save his season.
Well, it seems that experience outhandled youth in this match.
And it's just going from bad to worse for the champ. He'll have to hope the selection committee's a little kind on him with whoever he fights fourth and whatever the seeding goes after that, but it's not looking good. And it's pretty bad.
Well, we shall see indeed.
Sorry,
but for now, we have the sixth fight, which is Stinger versus Black Ice. So far, Stinger is once again proving to be a letdown.
It's very unfortunate because, once again, some decent improvements to this build. He's such a fast, big, solid brute, but he's still not getting the job done. And whether or not he should have beaten Killer Bee in that split decision, we'll never know. But Gigabyte tore him a new one.
And then this is, of course, a rematch from Season 3. Black Ice won off of a horrendous mistake from Stinger on that occasion. And so he'll know that this match will be just a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Stinger will be out for blood because that was an embarrassing loss and another one of the reasons why Stinger has been a bot to build you up and then let you down. And Black Ice will have to be aware of that. He might want to fight a little bit more conservative just to make sure he frustrates Stinger as much as he can.
Well?
What?
I don't know, Nick. You tell me.
Am I supposed to?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen next. They don't know what happened next.
I don't know what's gonna happen next.
You gotta cue them. Tell them to go down to the box.
Bound to the docks. Nailed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square.
According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way that a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body. This is taking way too long. Screw it.
It's Stinger! In the blue square.
Like snow piles after a Midwestern winter, this bot is willing to get dirty to win. Just ask... well, Stinger.
It's Black Ice!
Well, Cap, rematches are always fun, especially nowadays when a new factor is thrown in, like the presence of Flicker. Should Black Ice change anything in his strategy from the Season 3 win against Stinger, knowing that he has help?
Well, I think that Black Ice should give up in fear of being roasted, toasted, and probably burnt to a crisp. I think Flicker's a huge game changer. Nothing about the Stinger rebuild, it's been rebuilt completely, a lot better bot now, but that doesn't matter. Flicker's actually going to win the fight on his own. The modernization of flamethrowers is really come into effect this season, as we've seen with a lot of bots, and I think Flicker is going to show that.
Let the bot battle begin. Stinger coming out early and getting a hard shot on Black Ice, and then flipping him in the air.
Yeah, Flicker's just kind of there. At this point, I don't even know. Did one of Black Ice's cannons shoot? Is that what kind of looked like it fell off?
Yeah, I think he fired it in desperation, and now he's stuck on his side. Flicker then pushed him into the wall and allowed him to skirt across.
And it looks like Stinger at this point in time kind of held off Flicker, like, it's okay. Let's finish this. Let it end.
Stinger needing the win badly, and I think he is not going to give Black Ice another opportunity to get back on his wheels.
And Flicker is literally rubbing it in. What did he do?
He said, don't mess with him. We've won this fight. Just don't touch him again. And as the countdown concludes, Stinger celebrates his first victory of the season.
I think the biggest upset of this match was Stinger betraying his own teammate and flipping him at the end.
Stinger knew the importance, though, of getting this victory, not only for this season, but for the revenge he needed from seasons past when he lost to Black Ice. He definitely needed that win, though.
I want to say, too, for Black Ice's defense, I guess, he did try his best. He did fire off his cannon. Kind of useless in the end, but he did give it a go.
And Stinger gave it a go and got the win he needed.
So rude. Hey, he's your teammate. Your teammate.
Easy. It's okay. They understand. Like, they're just messing around. I think they're having fun.
Fun?
I don't know. They're robots. Stinger really wanted the Flicker.
Seventh match for the night. We have Cobalt versus Witch Doctor. I can't even. No. Mm-mm.
It's your fucking nightmare.
Why do y'all gotta be like by my feet for this? Oh, what was that? Was that a good meow? No, you don't want to go.
There we go. She just replaced magic.
She said, I wanted to
Oh. Good boy. You ready?
Yeah.
Good boy. You. Good boy.
Now it's your fucking nightmare.
Okay, alright, I'm back now. Now that I'm back after that atrocious incident. We have the 7th fight for the night. We have Cobalt versus Witch Doctor. Cobalt got himself back on track after that disastrous defeat to Surgeon General in round 1.
Yeah, and it may not be the most spectacular win for Cobalt, but to silence Mechivore, who could have, risen up the table, it's still a win that he needed to go out and get, and now it's allowing him to get a fight like Witch Doctor, which would get him back on track very well indeed.
Correct. But a fight like this means that Shaman could have a big role to play. Will he be the difference?
I hope he has a big enough impact, because we were disappointed with how little he seemed to be involved in the Wipeout match, which of course Witch Doctor lost, so of course that's an area we could point the finger at and say, well, why wasn't Shaman involved more? And we'll see whether or not Witch Doctor learned their lesson from that fight, or maybe they just think this is a fight where he's better equipped to be useful. We'll find out soon, I guess.
And where will we find it out?
Backyard.
But no, a little bit closer.
I think that's where Tito wants to go.
I don't want Tito to go into the box.
No, in the backyard.
No.
Or the front yard. He likes the front yard. Down to the box.
Down to the box.
Without Tito.
Yes, without Tito.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square.
He's not that fussed about the postseason. If he's knocked out early, he's got a job lined up as an airbag.
It's Cobalt!
In the blue square, 2v1 beatdowns will leave you pelted. When they're through with you, you'll be left smelted. Your misery will be compounded by
Witch Doctor!
Let the bot battle begin! With both of these bots sitting at 1-1, it's a crucial matchup in round 3 as Shaman is getting bullied early on by Cobalt, and finally he goes after the main bot.
I feel like that was a taunt to Witch Doctor, but now they kind of ganged up on him a little bit. What happened back there?
I think Witch Doctor tried to fire the Shremek early and just used it as a ramp instead. A lot of end-to-end action so far as all 3 machines, I shouldn't say both machines, all 3 machines are getting involved in a tussle.
I want to say I'm not going to hopefully curse this, but Witch Doctor and Shaman drive very well together. They kind of stay out of each other's way. They're both ganging up on Cobalt when need be.
Yeah, Shaman a lot more involved than in the last Witch Doctor fight against Wipeout. Ooh, Cobalt bumping into the wall and takes a hard shot from behind that sends him smoking. All of a sudden,
one more shot.
all of a sudden, Cobalt's out, and Witch Doctor's won it. That turned very quickly on Cobalt. Well, we saw early on that Cobalt was going after Shaman, and you know what? I think he probably should have continued.
To be honest, I agree, because Shaman being there, rebounding off of Witch Doctor, it was just a really good combination that proved fatal in Cobalt's case.
We'll never truly know if the main Witch Doctor bot or Shaman causes a majority of the damage, but one thing's for sure, they both had their part to play in this fight.
And in the end, they both knocked out Cobalt. So Shaman did kind of seem to play a part in this match.
I'd say a significant one too. The fire has proven to be tough for a lot of bots, and I don't think Cobalt realized how much damage it was causing him until it was too late. Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Well, after all of the excitement from the night, drumroll please, we have the main event of Bronco versus Nightmare. So neither bot is where they want to be heading into their third match.
Yeah, both bots sitting at 1-1, and they would prefer to be 2-0. Bronco, of course, he had the loss in the first round against Wipeout, where he was third best in a 2-horse race. And Nightmare just got unlucky, I think, against Huge, but he was able to rebound in his next fight, and at least it's not 0-2, is the way they should be looking at it, I think.
Yeah, all things considered, this matchup would favor Bronco and his style.
Yeah.
But how does Nightmare put himself into a winning position?
By putting the weapon in a dangerous position, because he's going to get flipped in this fight. He's going to have to self-right often, and he knows that. He's going to have to fight a little bit defensive, but in a situation like this, when you're up against a flipper, as long as when you're getting flipped, you are still getting half hits, full hits, quarter hits, just contacting your opponent, eventually pieces will break off, and that's what he's got to hope for. And then just hopefully, when Bronco, if and when he does break down, he's still got something left in the tank, Nightmare, to maybe finish him off before the bell.
Well, let's go watch the main event, guys.
It's a big one.
Down in the where?
Triangle.
Down in the triangle.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square.
Sure, he may not be the reborn goat, but we'd never sell him on eBay.
It's Bronco! In the blue square.
The lights may be on, but it's about to get pitch black. No fairy tale will save you from his attack. He'll buck you back with his Nightmare!
A 2-loss regular season is dangerous territory to occupy, but for one of these big names, it's the reality they will have to face. The good news? They have a chance to avoid it. Let the bot battle begin! Very intriguing matchup for both bots in terms of the weapon matchup, in terms of the names and status, and in terms of the current standings as Bronco gets the first attack of the match, and then is Havoc glitched into the ceiling, which gives Nightmare time to reset.
Bronco looked like he had to kind of regain his composure there, and Nightmare's back again on his back front.
Nightmare's gonna probably need to use his self-righting mechanism multiple times. Bronco flipping him again, but Nightmare quick to get himself back into a fighting position.
At this point in time, I think strategy is going to be the biggest ally here. Bronco's got to stay away from Nightmare's weapon and continue to do flips, and Nightmare's really got to just aim to get Bronco's flipper off.
You gotta make sure that weapon is spinning at all times. He can take the flips as long as he's causing damage, and he has caused some damage. They were running into some pieces on the ground before they moved away from it. It's good aggression though from Bronco, and he drives Nightmare into the corner of the box. And he looks intent on keeping them there for the time being.
Yeah, he's taking every opportunity he can get to really just make sure that Nightmare's unstable.
Bronco's always been the type for flippers to be very aggressive despite needing to maintain endurance. He likes to just go out and get the points scored early, and another good attack flips Nightmare again.
At the halfway point for the match, and I feel like the rest of the match is going to just consist of this unless it turns into a shoving match if Nightmare successfully gets rid of Bronco's flipper.
Now, despite the awkward Nightmare design, Bronco is catching all of the right points when he's timing these flips. And again, right underneath the wheel, and he gets the flip. And Nightmare's lost one of his teeth.
This is not going well. Wait, did we see a part? Is there a part missing from Bronco?
I think there was, and now there's a wheel missing, and the flipper is significantly damaged as well.
This is the turning point that I was talking about. If Nightmare can now show
No, never mind, same wheel. Sorry.
some damage. If some damage can be shown. Oh, did he lose his other tooth?
He did.
Lost his other tooth.
He did, right when Nightmare was in the ascendancy. He lost the other tooth on the ground, I believe.
I was just about to say how all he had to do was show damage with that lonely tooth, but now it's not even there.
Now he can still do some damage the way his disc is structured. It's not as much damage as last season. Bronco will need to be careful. There's a mini piece of flipper left. There's another wheel. For real this time. Nightmare is clawing himself back into contention for winning this fight. Final 10 seconds.
Yeah, this last 10 seconds, I honestly don't know anymore where this is going to go. Is Nightmare going to get off another wheel in the last remaining seconds?
If he doesn't, he's at least given himself a fighting chance. Oh! This at the last second has fallen off. Could that swing it just before the bell? More damage to consider for the judges. My goodness. Oh, a very entertaining fight, not only with the action we saw, but kind of the storyline as well. It was all Bronco in the early stages before Nightmare was able to get back into it.
We talked earlier about how sometimes short matches can bring a lot of entertainment, but I want to say this is one of the longer lasting matches that actually left me satisfied.
Yeah, Nightmare was taking a lot of abuse, but every time Bronco flipped, he was taking damage, and it added up.
Yeah, a lot of control in the early bits of the match, but Nightmare really did just kind of hold out, and his endurance lasted, and he started tearing Bronco apart.
He was able to get 2 wheels, but losing the disc might be a crucial final nail in his coffin, but we go to the judges to find out for sure.
The results from the judges are in. Your winner, by unanimous decision, is... Bronco!
Well, GG Bronco.
Yeah, he's doing good now. 2 wins on the spin for him.
It was a pretty good fight, too.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. We knew Bronco would start to break down, but Nightmare gave it a good go. And again, I think we like to stress good losses. That's a good loss for Nightmare, because, yeah, he was, struggling in the first minute for sure, but he didn't give up. That's a huge thing that the selection committee will be considering.
Exactly. And then overall through the night, we had some wins, some losses, some deaths, rest in peace, and some success.
A lot of movement in the table, because a lot of bots in this episode were facing off against someone with a similar record, so a lot of important wins, a lot of juggling in the standings, and it's fun. We're in the second half now.
Yeah, it's exciting.
We're really going to start finding out who's the real deal and who needs to go home now.
Yep,
Mike
one
Force.
step closer. Terrible.
For everyone here, thank you, of course, for watching. We'll be back at some point soon with episode 10. Things are, still different in life, so we'll see how long it takes. But
we'll get it to you.
Yeah, we'll get it to you.
So be f***ing patient.
Subscribe to League of Pigs. Now's the time where you can break away.
Go do it. It's amazing.
And then subscribe to us, please.
I mean, if you're already here, yeah. If you're watching and enjoying this,
come on.
Subscribe.
Come on, man.
Click the bell notification.
It'll make Nugget very happy. And Nugget's an adorable cat.
Nugget's a himbo.
What? I don't know that term.
That sucks for you.
I'm gonna go look up that term. You guys do your subscription things, and we'll see you in a couple weeks, maybe.
Bye.
Bye.